Jesus and his disciples had been on the Gentile side of the lake. When they came back to the Jewish side, a large crowd of people were waiting for him. Jesus started to teach the people when suddenly a ruler of the synagogue, a man by the name of Jairus, ran up and fell down and said, my daughter is 12 years old and she's dying. I beg of you, please come and heal my daughter. Jesus agreed, so he and his disciples followed Jairus. A large crowd of people also followed and pressed in around Jesus. There was a woman along the way that had had a sickness of the blood for 12 years. Many doctors had tried to help her until the money was gone. And yet she just grew worse. She heard that Jesus was coming by, and so she thought to herself, if I could get close enough, or I could just reach out and touch the edge of his clothes, I would be healed, and no one would have to know anything about it. So, as Jesus was passing by, she made her way through the crowd and then reached out and touched just the edge of his clothes, and instantly she knew she had been healed. Jesus felt the power go out of his body, so he stopped and turned and said, who touched me? Peter looked at the crowd and said, who touched you? Look at all the people around you. Jesus ignored him and continued to look for the person who had touched him. When the woman realized that she had been found out, she ran up and fell down before him, trembling. Jesus said, don't be afraid. Your faith has healed you. Go your way. That disease will not return. As they talked, some people came and said to Jairus, there's no need to bother the master any longer. Your daughter has died. Jesus heard what they said, and he said to Jairus, don't fear. Just believe in me. They continued on to his house, and the mourners had already arrived. They were crying loudly and playing the flute. And Jesus said, why are you making all this noise? She's only asleep. Well, they laughed at him because they knew she was dead. So he put them out and took Peter, James, and John and the parents and went into where the girl was lying. He reached out and took her hand and said, child, get up. And instantly the girl opened her eyes and then got up. The parents just watched in amazement. Finally, Jesus said, get her something to eat. Then he told him, do not tell this to anybody. Still, the news of this event spread throughout the entire area.